How's it going, everybody? My name is Alan with Center Consoles Only, and I'm here with the legendary fishing TV host, Carter Andrews. Pleasure to have you, my friend.
Legendary. I love it.
You might have seen this guy from The Obsession of Carter Andrews on the Outdoor Channel. Excellent show, and it's quite the treat to have you here, first off. Second of all, this is actually Carter's boat. So something that's always been interesting to me personally is speaking to someone with the knowledge and experience that Carter has and walking through their boat to learn why they set it up the way that they did, and just absorb as much of that as possible. So beyond showing off the 270Z, we want to get into the nitty-gritty on how you set it up, the type of fishing you do, and why you went with SeaVee as a whole. So,
well, SeaVee, there, you know the reason for that. There isn't another boat as far as I'm concerned. So, but the SeaVee has an incredible lineup of boats. The new boat now, the 45, all the way down to the 27. I have fished in all of them, except for the 45. And a little bit about me and my fishing experience. I'm freshwater, I'm saltwater, I'm fly, I'm conventional. I do a little bit of everything. I spent 14 years in the Bahamas, 5 years in Panama, Wyoming. So I'm a really diverse fisherman. I like to do a little bit of everything. And if I'm going to have one boat that can do it all, I really feel like this boat can do it all. I mean, you see I've got twins on the back. I've got the V6, the Mercuries, and I've been 70 miles offshore in Cape Cod catching bluefin tuna, and the next day catching striped bass in the creeks, in 2 feet of water.
That's
and
incredible.
the same thing here in Florida. I'm catching sailfish one day, the next day I'm in the Indian River catching trout, redfish, and snook.
Exactly.
So it's really, this boat for me, it's about the diversity of it, and it's incredibly easy to trailer, and maybe even more important, nobody wants to fish with me because I'm such a mean person. So I got to go by myself all the time.
Oh, man. No. Send an invite my way. I'd love to go.
No, but really, the thing about it is this is a boat that you can go out by yourself in.
With no problem.
Small enough to manage everything from the ramp to fishing and running and even at the end of the day, cleaning. I mean, it's just, that's the nice thing about it. And this is a little boat that wants to be a big boat, and she does, like I said, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. For those of you guys that don't know, this is their hybrid model, and what a hybrid is basically a mesh of a bay boat and the traditional center console, kind of made to do exactly what Carter just mentioned, able to do it all. So you can do a little bit of the offshore stuff if the weather's right, and you can get into the skinnier stuff inshore. Easy maneuverability and kind of just a great package of everything combined. So that's great. What kind of, where you been fishing last? Let's find out a little bit about what you guys been doing.
I literally just got back from 25 days of a filming trip where I was fishing and filming. I started out in the Chesapeake Bay, and I was cobia fishing up there. I did 4 days in the Chesapeake. Then I went down to Albemarle Sound for big bull reds, red drum there they call it. And then from there to South Carolina, where I was fishing for tailing redfish on oyster bars and stuff. And then I went down to Mississippi. I did redfish and jacks along the coast. And then Venice, Louisiana, we ran out to the rigs and we tuna fished and triple tail and cobia and
all in this boat.
All in this boat.
That's fantastic.
And drove, trailer it the whole way. Like I said, that's one of the nice, easy things is just being able to, the trailerability of this boat is great.
Oh, exactly what I was saying. If someone has the experience, this guy has it. Look at the amount of fishing that he does, and this is the boat he chooses to do it in. So, I mean, one thing I'd like to do is kind of go from bow to stern and just go through every detail from the trolling motor, why you set it up, exactly what you have there, what you use it for, and then we'll kind of chip away back to the stern, show everyone as much detail as we can of this 270.
In this boat, the ability to have a trolling motor is priceless. I mean, everywhere I go, I don't anchor anymore. When I'm offshore and I'm wreck fishing or reef fishing, I deploy my trolling motor, and it holds me on the spot. Oh. I'm not dropping an anchor in 300 feet of water and trying to deal with my anchor. Right. It keeps me in that spot. And then the trolling motor is just as functional when I'm inshore and I'm trout fishing, red fishing, snook fishing, be able to maneuver. It's that's been a game changer, I think, for a lot of bay boats, is just the idea of having a trolling motor and having spot lock on the trolling motors.
Yeah. And this Minn Kota, you've had a good experience with it personally?
I've never had an issue with Minn Kota ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bulletproof. It's there, and I plug it in. I charge my batteries every day, but that right there. I don't know. It wouldn't be the same boat without that. Let's put it that way.
Really. Yeah, it gives you a lot more flexibility without having to get into this anchor locker, which we'll crack it open just to say that we did. I don't know if you guys can get a shot at that.
You know, sometimes when you're having to anchor your boat and you might be a little off your spot, I mean, I just use my trolling motor and move over a little bit instead of having to re-pull and deploy that anchor again.
Oh, I gotcha. And how long does that battery last you on the Minn Kota?
I have not lost a battery. That's a 36-volt system, and I have not gone through an entire charge in a day. I'll sit there on spot lock even if it's a lot of current, let's just say it's a 2-knot current, and that thing is pumping out at 10, trying to hold me on spot lock.
Right.
All I do is I crank my engines up. I just put them in gear, okay? And now my trolling motor just keeps me from going left and right. So instead of my trolling motor working so hard to stay there
you give it
in
a
the
little
current,
push with
I use the main engine to help hold me there and let the trolling motor keep me left and right on the spot. It's really... So
that's excellent.
All day long, whether you're using the trolling motor inshore all day long or using it offshore,
it's a must-have.
It's a must-have. The 36-volt system is a must-have.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about these fish boxes. We were talking a little bit beforehand about some of the fish that he's put in this box, and you can see the size of it.
This is a 6-foot box. You could put a 6-foot wahoo in here. I've had 250-pound bluefin tuna in this box right here.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so it's ample space. Both of them, port and starboard, and they're insulated fish boxes. So they're going to hold your ice all day long, and it's never an issue. I use one typically for my fish, and the other one is storage.
Okay. And you guys can see the finish work underneath, typical of SeaVee. They have their logo and embossed under there, and just gas shock nicely placed out of the way.
There's not a rough edge in this boat anywhere. No. Underneath here, this camper, there's nothing. I mean, there's no loose fiberglass, and that's one of the things about SeaVee is the fit and finish.
No, they definitely go above and beyond when a lot of companies might hide something that the normal person will never see in their lifetime, but that SeaVee takes that extra step.
Except when you go reach in there to grab something, next thing you got fiberglass in your arm.
Yep.
So,
all right. So what do we got down the center?
So this is a huge storage area.
Wow.
Depending on how you set it up, I have 3 house batteries and then 3 batteries for my trolling motor for the 36-volt system. The 3 house batteries may be a little excessive until you get back here and you look at my electronics and my sump box and stuff like that. But this has been that's either a huge storage area, or I use it for my batteries up there now that I have twins, just to get a little bit more weight forward.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Is this a standard depth of this?
That's the standard depth. That's right.
Wow, it's like a solid 3 feet deep.
You could hide your children in there.
You can definitely
hide your children in there. And I've got a starboard that I put over the top of that so that I can still use
it for
some of that
storage.
for storage. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
SeaVee has 2 bait wells in this boat, and that's what's for a bay boat to have 2 wells. Either I take twice as much bait as I think I want, or I've got 2 different types of bait. A lot of times I'm separating bait, and that's just that's just a nice feature to have. If I'm only river fishing, and most of the time I'm spending on the bow running off the trolling motor, I keep all my bait forward.
Right.
If I'm offshore and I'm doing a little bit more live baiting, then I keep it in the back or
Makes
whatnot.
sense.
But it's
ease of access.
It's really nice, and that provides a step to get up on.
It's definitely comfortable. You got a great deck space here to do any sort of casting.
Three of us can fish up here at a time.
Yeah.
You could be standing there, somebody can be standing there, and I'm still standing. There's all kinds of room.
Definitely nice. Well, you can see with the weight we're throwing around that the boat actually for a 27 isn't even budging.
It doesn't move, and I'm a big boy. Let me try to rock it. And we don't have a seakeeper in it.
That is nice.
Another thing that I think, especially for the fly fishermen, this is a really nice advantage. I've locking rod storage on either side. I could put 6 rods in each side, and this is a 10-foot locking rod storage. So I can put a 10-foot fly rod in there.
Wow. Very nice. It's
set up. It's so clean. You can see how I've got, this is for the butt of my rods and the tips there. I put 2 rods in each hole up
Each
there.
guide there. Okay.
So, but I can get 6 rods in there really comfortably.
And you can lock that up and have everything secure.
That's locking.
Oh, very nice.
This is nice here. This is, I put my fenders in here and I put my cast nets in here. And you can see that nice little recessed hole. That's for the bucket for the cast net to fit in.
Yep.
So it's not moving around. And
not sure if you guys are seeing any of that there because we couldn't get the angle, but right at the bottom section of this this box down here, there's actually an indentation where you can fit a bucket in perfectly, where Carter sets his cast net, as he was saying. It's not going to bounce around and end up, thrown all over the place by the time you get to where you're going. And then you have the rest of it, which is, extra storage, which is excellent.
Just a quick, easy access day cooler for drinks, sandwiches if you want.
Perfect. Well, you can see a lot of this is set up just like their bigger boats. You have, all the creature comforts that their bigger boats have on them. In that 27-foot package. Let me pop around here.
For me to be able to access, all my switches and everything easily, it's just comfortable. I'm not having to go in under my console.
Right.
And then I've also, look at the storage room I have here. So my last 27, I had my batteries in here. So I may have given up a little storage there, but now I've got it all here.
True.
And that's another, if you have 4 kids, 1 can be in there and 3 can be up there.
It's a good distribution. The one that's being annoying and doesn't want to play with the rest can sit there. All right. As you can see, there's no lack of rod holders on this boat either. Something nice that they do, and it's just a small detail, but some of us pick it up, is they have this little, what I believe is maybe a 15-degree slant on this console, so you don't get that water buildup. Slides off, stays clean. And you can line up, just how many you got? 4 or 5 down each side of this console?
I've got 5 on this. I've got 5 on this side and 6 on this side because that's my fresh water right there.
Okay.
So I have 25 gallons of fresh water, which, you think about it on a boat this size, to be honest with you, I wash blood off with the salt water, but the rest of the time I'm washing my boat off, I'm using that because I'm using fresh water.
Yep.
Because I have it,
Yeah, and as you can see here with those rod holders, they have this Key West style hard top, which gives you this opening, maybe a little more aerodynamic, but at the same time allows you to have all those rods there with no, blockage. So,
for me, I may go offshore in the morning and inshore in the afternoon. So the flexibility of being able to have this many rods on the boat, I typically leave with 12 or 14 rods.
Right.
And I have rods set up with lures on it for casting. I have rods set up live bait with just hooks on them. And, it's just,
you got it all. You ready to go. Ready to go to war no matter what you're doing. So let's get to this. This is the Nassau Command Center right here. You got second station. This is quite interesting. I'm sure you got a lot to talk about for this area.
Having a boat with a second station, especially a bay boat of this size, I spend a lot of time fishing the beach. In the spring, it's all about the tarpon on the beach. It's about the cobia on the beach. It's permit on the beach when I'm running up and down the beach. And being able to see, this is on hydraulics.
Wow. So that opening is on hydraulics. You can close it up. So obviously if it rains, you don't get that sunlight through there. You cover yourself up, but you open it up and jump onto this second
I go from there
area
to here, and I stand on there, and I drive from up there. You can also sit on the seat and drive from up there as well. I typically stand and
just lean.
Just that little bit of extra visibility around the boat. I mean, instead of being able to see, 100 feet away, I'm able to look 170 feet away.
Yeah. Well, that little extra few feet makes a huge difference. I'm sure you can, testify to that.
I have a 9-inch Ray Marine up there as well. So if I'm fishing up there in deeper water or for navigation, I can use that. I have 2 12 inches here. And I don't need to tell you about just electronics in this day and age. Having good electronics on a boat for navigation is one thing, but having good electronics, having a good bottom machine, and now with side vision and stuff,
yeah,
it is a game changer of what you can see. I can pull up to a place like this, and I can say, okay, there's a snook between that piling and that piling. I mean, it takes the guesswork away. But learning how to use your electronics is probably the most important part.
Sure.
You know, I have an audio system. I have JL audio in the boat. I've got 6 speakers, and I don't play music myself when I'm fishing, but I do play music when I'm out with my family or when I'm running somewhere. And just having the option of a really good audio system is important.
Yep, JL Audio does great work. We work with those guys all the time. Just beyond the product, they're just an excellent group altogether. We've had an excellent experience with them, and really appreciate the relationship, to be honest. So love to see that you went with them and Ray Marine as well. I actually have that on our personal boat. So.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I've gone one step further too, and I've got autopilot on this boat, and I also, if you noticed, I have FLIR on the boat.
Oh, really? I didn't see the FLIR.
So having that, and you know, there's one thing that happens a lot on the Treasure Coast, and it's night fishing. It's the bridge fishing and the dock fishing and everything. Our snook fishing is twice as good at night as it is during the day.
Really?
So just being able to maneuver around at night and feel comfortable about it, and literally looking at my screen and looking like it's daylight out. It's a
big change from the searchlight plugged to the cigarette lighter. Come a long way. Very nice. Yeah, definitely the Ray Marine electronics have been super impressive, and that exactly what you're saying, to be able to target something over there is unreal. It's almost cheating. But using it is huge, because a lot of people have these electronics and they only know how to use, you know, the basic functions, the GPS, standard depth finder, but learning how to use that stuff is what is going to make it effective. So we definitely urge people to do it, and we're going to try to get into more of that instruction with the experts one day. And we're going to talk to Faruno on the 450 today as well. So looking forward to that. So moving along here, let's check out this leaning post. I see this is one of the newer.
This is a new model leaning post. I've got a lot of storage under the seat. I try to keep it as clean as I can. Sometimes it gets really messy, but this is just, you know, anything that I want to get at and have really quick access is what I keep under my seat, because I've got a tackle station here in the back that I keep the things that, you know, basically my hooks, my leads. I've got a nice little drawer, sliding drawer here, and then your boxes. 2 different places to hold your fluoro. And then the cooler.
Retractable, frigid, rigid.
Just like all their other boats.
Wow.
It's just, you know.
A big cooler at that.
A huge cooler that once you put it away, it's away.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Keeps all this open, which is exactly what you want, but you can hold a ton of drinks, ice, whatever you need in there. And
if you're making sandwiches on the boat, you can sit right there. This is probably one of the favorite features of just my guest on the boat, my family on the boat.
This is dry over here. Wow. Heck of a backrest, huh? I like that. So this is the official sandwich station for Carter Andrews 270Z. Definitely comfortable. I like this. And then obviously you get everything away, close this up, and you're back.
Let me show you one other thing. Here's how I access my bilge.
Oh, okay.
All right. And I'm a big guy. I've got big shoulders, and a lot of times it's hard to get in a bilge, but look at this.
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you see the access? And every single thing is marked.
Labeled, yeah.
Yeah, it's all labeled.
Yeah, they make it idiot-proof, which is the thing. There's a lot going on down there, and the regular boater might not know what half that stuff is. I mean, obviously they should learn if they're getting into boating, but making it easier for them like that is. And you didn't do that. SeaVee
did all that.
Just like that. Oh.
And not only, I'm going to take it one step further. I had to replace one of my pumps in the sea chest, and when I went to replace it, they had extra wire already there and zip tied with the extra wire
for that.
Yes.
Oh, wow! Look at that.
Okay, I mean that's a huge deal when you're trying to do something.
Yeah.
So that's another funny thing. Here's a bay boat with a sea chest.
Oh wow! Look at that. Now explain the sea chest. The idea of the sea chest, the function for our viewers here, if you don't mind. We get that question.
So that box right there stays full of water.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then that's actually bilge pumps in that box that are submerged in that water. So when I turn on my bait wells, that box is always full, and I never take the chance of, you know, through cavitation or whatever, creating air
losing the flow
and losing the flow. So I always, no matter what, my bait is always getting water.
Awesome.
It's always getting water, unless I leave the pump on outside, and that's what happened. I burned a pump out because it was on the trailer and I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, okay.
All right. But that thing, they're submerged and they never stop pumping. So the sea chest is huge when bait is a big part of what you're doing. But like I said, I just can't believe how much room I have.
Yeah. That's definitely not something you see often on a hybrid or bait boat this size.
That's my second live well right there.
Okay.
And then on the sides here, these are just storage, or they can plumb them as release wells too and pump water into them. So if you're a tournament red fisherman or something like that.
Gotcha. Very nice.
I've had this boat as a single engine before. I'm running twins on it now just because the way this boat's set up, it's really pretty heavy. And with these twin 225 now, it's absolutely perfect. I've got this boat propped where at 4,500 RPMs, I'm getting a 45 mile an hour cruise. And on a day like today out there, it's at 2.8 to 1.
Wow.
That's the efficiency I'm getting.
That's amazing.
With a 110 gallon fuel tank, you can do the math. I've got like a 300 mile range.
I don't have my calculator, but it's a good ways.
It's a lot.
I love these engines. I was telling you earlier, the new Mercury outboards, the V6 225s and the 300 V8s. We put that 300 in our boat, and the performance is incredible. That lower end torque is, it throws you back.
If you're not holding on from that 2,500 to 4,000, you better be holding on to 5,000.
Yeah. I see you got a couple of power poles here as well, which...
That's shallow outwater anchoring. When I'm fishing the river, it's, yes, you've got spot lock, but a lot of times you want to be quiet about it.
Right.
Instead of that trolling motor turning on and off, trying to hold you in a spot, so
you pick a spot, drop those down.
So I've got, two different anchoring capabilities. 3. I've got my anchor I can throw, or I've got the spot lock on there, and I've got the power poles.
You shouldn't drift anywhere anytime soon. Jack plates I'm seeing too.
So jack plates are an interesting thing. Just like you use trim tabs on your boat and you use the trim and tilt on your engines, I use my jack plate as well. It's not only for getting up or running in really shallow water. In different sea conditions, I can optimize everything by using my jack plate, my trim on the engine, and my trim tabs. And I find where that boat really wants to run in different sea conditions.
Gotcha.
So I've got my controls for the jack plates up here on the wheel. Right here, really easy access. I happen to have them on each one on a separate plate. You can get them on single plates. The difference on separate plates is I'm about 2 inches further apart, and I think the boat runs a little bit better like that.
Very nice.
The one other thing I want to mention are the Jim Lux outriggers.
Oh, yes, sir.
These are carbon fiber, and they're telescoping outriggers. So when I'm fishing inshore and I don't need them, I keep them put away like that, tucked away. And literally in 3 minutes, I can have them out, fully extended and fishing, whether I'm trolling dead baits or trolling live baits, sometimes on the beach for the tarpon and stuff. So.
Yep, the Gemlux riggers are fantastic. We have set as well. Just the ease of putting them in, putting them out into there, it just doesn't get any easier than that. Super smooth.
This is up and down right here. It's amazing. And then when I want to set them,
that's it.
It's really...
I remember the good old days when you had to get up on the top, lift up the thing, turn it. So this is just super easy, super smooth. You don't have to put yourself in any sort of danger when it's rough out there to get up on on top of your hardtop. So definitely a nicely rigged boat. I don't think there's anything you left out on this thing. Is there anything you wish you would have had that you don't have on here? I don't think there's anything left. So,
but sometimes if you want to come up, we're more than happy to go fishing and we can talk about it more. This boat, if you're only going to have one boat that you want to do a little bit of everything in, from offshore to inshore, I mean, this is the one that really can do it all.
Good. Yeah, that definitely seems that way, and I'll take you up on that fishing trip one day when we're in the area. I'm hearing actually right now that I think we have a question or two from the live stream. What are the gallon sizes for the live wells you have on board? You know, by chance?
The forward well is 35, and this one's 40, I believe. It may be 45, but 35 and 40, I'm going to tell you.
Okay. 35 and
a lot of bait.
Is this a standard option right here?
Yes.
This is a standard option, ladies and gentlemen. So that comes with the boat. There's obviously a ton of different ways to configure these things. Speaking to the guys at SeaVee is the best way to do that. Speak to them about, you know, what works for you. So whether you're into a ton of fishing or into the family thing, there's a way to set that boat up for you. And, you know, for that, we urge you to speak to the professionals over there at SeaVee, or, you know, if you link up with Carter, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to speak with you about this boat in particular. But I think if there's nothing else, I thank you for your time, Carter. It was a pleasure walking through the boat with you. Alan. It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, we also... well, you know, we mentioned the saltwater and freshwater, but you see the hoses are coiled up and they're out of the way. I mean, everything is so thought out on this boat.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Everything's organized, well thought out of the way. Yeah, you know, it's really, really nicely done. This is a boat we haven't spent much time on, but we look forward to it, and I think we might be knocking on this guy's door. So, Carter, thank you guys again. Thank you guys at home watching. Well, we're going this way. So, guys, what do we have next? Our Mercury chat, I believe. So this is what comes into the live thing. We want to thank you guys. Make sure to catch our next stream in about 30 minutes, 12 o'clock with Mercury Marine. Thank you, everyone.